Hey guys, we made it to season 5 of the Us People podcast. I'm your host, Savia Rocks, and in this season, we aim to empower and embrace creativity through diversity as we dive into the fascinating stories and experiences of a diverse range of individuals, highlighting their unique perspectives and creative endeavors, from artists and entrepreneurs to innovators and activists. We celebrate the power of diversity in driving creativity and fostering positive change. Join us as we engage in thought-provoking conversations like...
I made myself intentionally homeless in pursuit of my purpose.
We're aware that a lot of people want to present and they were in my position, and what's worse, they weren't a white male, which is a joke that's even still a thing.
I think my family never ever say you can't do something, so full of support for whatever dream. If I said tomorrow I want to fly to the moon, they'll probably say I wish you all the best, Mel.
So guys, I just want to say thank you for supporting the Us People podcast for the past 5 years, and we look forward to sharing another new theme song with you. Let's go.
Hopefully you guys will listen and continue supporting.
To another episode of the Us People podcast. I'm your host, Savia Rocks, and today I am humbled to have Mehdi here with me. Mehdi is a humanitarian, an author, and the founder of OWDA, an organization for work and development in Afghanistan. Guys, I am so excited to speak to Mehdi today because before I even let him talk for a second, the beautiful work that he does for people and the passion that he has within what he does is outstanding, and I am humbled to have his presence here. Also, we're going to talk about his book as well. So, Mehdi, thank you so much for coming on the Us People podcast. How are you?
Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here, and I'm fine. Thank you very much. Looking forward to this conversation, and I'm really thrilled.
So, my first question for you is, could you tell me, I would love to know about yourself, but also where you grew up and how that influenced you to be the person who you are today?
Savia, I was born in Afghanistan in 1973, and in central Afghanistan, one of the most isolated part of the country. People were really poor and isolated. That as far as I can remember, I thought behind the mountains there is no world exists. So I thought this was our world. You know, that village that I lived in was our world. And I was born for some reason paralyzed. I couldn't move my legs from waist down. I was paralyzed. Yeah. And I was pronounced as such, and I accepted myself like that when I was young, and I just would sit there. But I had a lot of questions as a young child, and why I cannot walk, you know, and that because I couldn't use that energy just like other kids running around and playing. So I wanted to know what was wrong with me, or why my parents fought, or why it's something I would find all the wrongs, and I would keep asking my mom the questions. And I think that made me very curious. That's what my curiosity started about life, about everything else.
I love that. I totally love that. See, the funny thing is that even before we've gone into other questions, I can feel a sense of you are a type of person who doesn't want to give up. You don't give up. You are curious about what you want to do, but you also feel like you always want to not necessarily win the battle, but keep fighting the good fight, which is fight the battle.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, back then when I was a child, all I wanted was to walk. Yeah. And everybody telling me that I couldn't didn't make any sense to me, because I had legs and they were growing. But the only reason that I believed that I couldn't walk is because I haven't learned how to. Why can't I learn how to walk? Yeah, so I keep asking that question over and over again. But everything changed, Savia, with me when I was about 5 years old, and I cut my index finger to the bone with a knife, and day after day, when I witnessed my finger healing itself, the wound is closing, the cut is closing. After a week or two, it was all gone, and as if nothing happened. And that kind of woke me up and says, hey, who did it? What happened? And then I did realize that there was something inside me. And if that thing can fix my hand, it can teach me how to walk. That's when my fight started. And I didn't give up. I went through hell trying to stand on my feet, because nobody believed me. Nobody would help me to get up, and I would beg everybody, can somebody please hold me up? I know I can walk, but all I have to know is teach myself how to walk.
Exactly.
And since nobody believed me, nobody helped me. But I didn't give up. I broke door handles trying to lift myself up. I did everything I could, and I was punished for trying, but I didn't give up.
Why was you punished for trying?
Well, because everybody, when you think outside the box, outside the norm, you become abnormal to them.
That's true.
And anything you do is considered wrong. So they believe that I shouldn't be trying because I can't walk. That's how I'm born. That's what God has in store for me. So, but I believed otherwise. So when I tried something, I would hurt myself. My mom didn't do that because she believed that I could walk, and she stopped me. She believed that I couldn't walk, so I would hurt myself. I was in agony all the time, in pain, and so was she, because seeing me trying and failing, trying and failing, and trying and fail, she couldn't take it anymore. One day she came and sat next to me, and she held me in her arms, and she cried with me because I was crying, because I said, "What's wrong with me?" And she cried with me. And says, please stop it. I cannot take it anymore. So they tried to stop me. And I totally understand. I didn't understand them back then, but now I understand why they did that.
But don't you feel like now that how do they feel now that you do understand that you kept fighting, that you wanted to walk, that even from seeing the smallest thing from the cut on your finger, it made you realize that you are capable in life of literally doing or being anything that you want to be in life?
Yeah, well, it was a wake-up call that how powerful we are as a human being, and how much work and effort is gone through to actually make us believe otherwise.
Yes, that's
limit
true.
us. And that wake up call for me was like enlightenment. I said, "Wow, can I actually do this? If something can fix my hand, how can I? I just need to find a way how to talk, how to communicate with this thing in order to help me." Yeah. The question was not, can I do this? The question was, how can I figure it out?
That's it.
Yeah. So, and I, for the next 2 years, from 5 to 7 years old, I tried everything. I fell a million times. I was bruised 24/7 all over my body because I fell every time I got up. So, but I didn't give up because that's all I had.
Exactly.
Luckily or unluckily, I didn't have an option. I couldn't say, okay, let's not do this one. Let's do another one. That one will help me. There was no other option. So when I was about 7 years old, and I fell one more time, and this time I felt pain in my knee, and that's when the whole thing changed.
See.
Yeah. So, and it took me about, I don't know how many more months to just be able to stand on my feet. But so because we didn't have access to any doctor, I had no idea. Nobody knew what was wrong with me. But
do you know what? Just from hearing just maybe like the 10 minutes of me talking to you now, I hope that people listening to this understands what determination is and what it can achieve. Another question that I do want to ask you, which is connected to the previous one before, which I feel will resonate together, is can you define yourself as a person, but who do you see when you look in the mirror? But on the flip side of that question, has there ever been a time where you have looked in the mirror and not recognized the person staring back at you? How did you manage to come back and be the person who you are today?
Well, sometimes, and I'm a human being. The mind overtakes me sometimes as well. The environment overtakes me sometimes as well, and I do doubt stuff sometimes. And when I do have doubts, I do look myself in the mirror. Okay. And then I do tell myself, this is not who you are. This is not who you are. Look behind this thing that you see. Look behind. Look inside you. Look at that. And then I keep telling myself, my mind is so powerful. Just look at one thing that it does. You eat food, and it creates bone, hair, skin, flesh, blood from something you eat. And if the mind is so powerful, and if I have such a powerful mind, how come? Why wouldn't I be able to find a solution for this challenge that I face? No way. And that wakes me up. And then I see my true self. And then I get so excited. I literally get excited. Oh my God. Oh, that's okay. And I forgive myself. That's okay. You just fell in the trap that, the society is trying to throw you in.
I love the way you do get excited. I know the guys can't see you now while I'm talking to you, but he's actually getting excited while he's talking, which is really nice to see, because not before this whole situation of the pandemic happened, people were going about their day, doing their work, and so on and so forth. Now more people are starting to find their passion in what they love doing. But it's beautiful to see when somebody is really deep into their passion of what they love and what they want to do. Can you tell me, what do you believe your values are, or what do you believe that how you lead people to victory in what you do? Because you do so many different things, especially as a humanitarian, and I think that's one of the most beautiful things that you can be in the world. But how do you feel that you lead people to victory?
Well, first of all, a little bit about our organization. We have about 431 orphans under our wings, and we help them, we accommodate them, and we facilitate their education and get them off the street and try to put them in school. Savia, if you try to lead people, it'll be hard for you to do that. But if you just be yourself, just be the person who you are. If you find yourself, you find love, you find compassion, you find a world full of possibilities. You see behind what everybody taught you, what everybody says. You see behind the mask that we always wear. When you see that, people love that, because people haven't seen such people like, they're not used to seeing people who are really open, who are really genuine. First, at the beginning, they don't believe you. They say, well, you came to Afghanistan, left a life, spending all your money to help. Nobody does that. But slowly they see, wow, this is genuine. This is amazing. When you are yourself, people will follow you, because they need people like you in this world, who are genuine, who are loving, who are caring. And the reason we have chaos, stress, people fighting, people are in misery and pain, because we have forgotten who we truly are.
Yes.
And from that perspective, from not being ourselves, and we try to be a leader, we try other people to follow us, or we try to be kind to other people. Whatever we do from an incomplete state of mind will be an incomplete. So you need to find yourself first. From that perspective, then you can do whatever you want. People would love to follow you, because you are the kindness, you're the compassion, you are everything, wherever you go.
I love that. I love the way you broke that down. Can you tell me what a day is like in your life, from the moment you wake up to maybe when you do work in your organization, to when you are, being a humanitarian or spending time with your family? What is a day like in your life?
Well, I have taught myself to limit my focus and energy and seconds into what I'm doing right now. So A day for me, like when people say, I have a goal, what is your goal today? I have this, and this. This is the goal that I have. And I usually tell people, well, that's not a goal. That's a vision. That's a dream. Everybody wakes up in the morning and say, I want to have a good day. That's just a dream. But goal is right now.
That's true.
This moment. This is the goal. And that's what we have learned wrong about wrong perception of goal. We have set goals where there's nothing we could do about it, somewhere in the future, in the distant future. And the more we cannot achieve it, the worse it gets for us. The more anxious we get, the more worried and fearful we get. Your goal is right now. That's a vision. That's a dream. We all need to have a vision, a dream.
Yes.
So my day starts with a vision. And today I'm going to do my best. And I do have a to-do list. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I need to do. But those are just a vision, just a goal, just a dream that I need to get to. And then my goal starts whatever I need to do in the morning. If I'm waking up in the morning at that time, that's my goal. Okay, what is my mind doing right now to me? Is it telling me that, oh, what a terrible day? If it is, then it's my job, my responsibility to switch, to change its perspective, to change my perspective. Oh no, it is a beautiful day. So my day is not a day. Every moment is it. There is no day, no month, nothing. Every moment is life. And I take it moment by moment. But some people might mistake it, oh, you don't have any vision, like you don't have a plan. No. I do have a plan. I do have, just like everybody else. And I insist you must have a plan. But your goal is the most important part of your life. Your goal, which is right now. And if you achieve your goal right now, if it is having a breakfast, for example, before going out, that's your goal. Your goal is not your job anymore, to-do list, and 1 hour later. Your goal is right now. I'm having my breakfast. What do I need to do right now to enjoy this breakfast? Or am I going to go on my phone and try to watch YouTube at the same time, or just throw food in my mouth? Or is it actually trying to be grateful for what I have and look at my children and my wife and my family and be grateful? That's that becomes my goal. To say, okay, how am I going to achieve that goal right now? The minute my mind takes me away, I bring my mind back. I said, no, it's not time to think about that. This is it. So I don't have a day. Every moment, I live moment by moment.
And that's a beautiful thing to do. I think everyone,
I believe so.
Yeah, everyone has a different perception of their day to day, but you seem to have it in your mind very differently, which is really nice.
Yeah, but Savia, I believe I've heard this one when I was very young, that time is an illusion. Time doesn't exist, and
I've heard that.
Yeah, that always intrigued me, and I believe in that. Time is the biggest problem we have created. Time, and then we live. Then the time creates a lot of anxiety, stress, either it's the past or future. And the minute we buy that time exists, we're in trouble. Yes. Then we live by time.
Yes.
I teach in Bamiyan University. I would try to empower students to take control of their life. So I had seminars there. So somebody asked me this question, and I told them, time doesn't exist. It says it does exist. I said, okay, prove it. He said, tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning. I said, well, tomorrow at 8 o'clock doesn't exist. He says, yes, it is tomorrow. I said, what is tomorrow? It's not, can you touch it? Can you feel it? Show me. He said, I'm going to prove it to you. I said, okay, you prove it to me. The next day at 8 o'clock, he calls me. The next day, he says, didn't I tell you tomorrow at 8 o'clock exists? I said, when? He says, tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I said, is this tomorrow at 8 o'clock? He says, no, this is today. I says, okay, what is tomorrow then? So, and then he finally got the point. So this is how time kind of ruined our life. Not that it's a bad thing. Time is a great thing. We have to understand it. We have to use it at our advantage, not let time use us. So there's a psychological time. There's a real clock time, So we mess this thing up all the time.
We sure do.
Yeah.
We definitely do. I know that I would love to start talking about your books, but there's one in particular I know that you would love to express and tell us more about, which is, please correct me if I ever say this wrong, which is the 5 Inner Laws of Change.
Yeah.
I was abundantly grateful to be able to read this, and I would love for you to talk about this a lot more.
Yeah. Well, Savia, when I was in Afghanistan, I had a small vehicle, a small car, and I would get into minor accidents all the time because, unfortunately, people did not follow the traffic law.
Oh, yeah.
So my car was dented, and the side mirror was hanged by electric wire and duct tape. So my bumper was held by screws that I put in there. And then when I looked at my car and I looked at people's life, they were in the same condition. Mm-hmm. People are also dented, and they're broken. They're hanging by thread, and they're trying to patch it with duct tape and try to hold on to everything, right? So, and I realized, wow, my car is in the same condition as people's lives. So, and then I said, okay, well, but my car is not like that in Canada. It's all in one piece. I've never had an accident in Canada in 27 years that I lived here. So, and what are the differences? Why? And then there's a law. The reason my car in Afghanistan was dented not like that because nobody followed the law.
True.
And Canada, mostly people did follow the law. In Canada, when there is an accident, anybody who actually observed there's an accident, they obviously broke the law. Mm-hmm. So in life, life is no exception. Everything has a law. We have so much information nowadays out there about how to improve yourself, how to do anything in life, but nobody does it. Or if they do, they quit it the next day, next week, next month. So, and then I said, okay, why? And that's when the 5 laws of inner change comes about. And I've realized that, wow, the reason we don't change, we can't create lasting change is because we constantly look outside for something. Well, we all try to create change in the outside world, totally ignoring the inside world. And that's our biggest problem. It's like looking for something in the wrong place. So, and when we cannot find it, we worried, we are anxious, we get angry. That's what this book is all about. If you want an outer change, you have to create an inner change. The outer world is a reflection of your inner world.
That's true.
And if that's the case, then it's the great news. It means that I have control. I have control over my inner world. Nobody else. If that's the case, then wow, isn't it an amazing thing? I can change anything. That the reason in business, for example, more than 95% of businesses close their doors and 5 years and less than 5 years is because inside them they believe poverty, scarcity, they're raised in a scarcity world, and all of a sudden they want to go change the outside world, trying to be rich. You can't do that. And inside you believe scarcity, all of a sudden you want to go make it. Doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. There will be a huge conflict. And the 5 laws of inner change says that if you can, with this 5 laws of inner change, you pick anything you want. If it is school, if it is business, apply just like anything else, just like any other law, just apply this 5 laws of inner change, and there is no way that you will not be able to achieve your goals.
You also talk about peace, fulfillment, success. there's so many different things that you talk about in your book. One of them, everyone, like I saw a book that said, why aren't you successful yet, for example? And for me, that caused controversy because I think, and this is just my belief, I think that success is defined in so many different ways. You don't have to have a car and a house and loads of money in your bank account for people to turn around and say you are successful. I think that society has manipulated that in our minds to make us feel that that is what success is, and that's not what it is at all. Success, like yourself, can just be waking up in the morning and trying to walk. Success for somebody else could be beating cancer. Success could be, you know, having mental health and waking up in the morning and saying, I'm going to do something good and be fulfilled today in my way. What does success mean to you? How can you define success to me in your terms?
Yeah, well, that's a great question, Savia, because I've been asked that over and over again. And this is one of the biggest problem we have is that we have been taught almost everything wrong. The minute we know a little bit about ourselves and the world, success is defined as in financial term, as materialistic world. You know, you have this, have that, you're successful. And money can buy happiness. If you don't have the money, you're not successful, and all that. And then we are forced, not even voluntarily, we're forced to pursue that route to go make more money. Yeah. At the same time, they've been telling us that making money is hard. It's not for everybody. You cannot be rich. They're teaching us all kind of this stuff, and which contradicts each other, and and then we go after something that we ourselves inside don't believe that we can achieve, like, for example, money. As a child, I was told over and over again, I'm sure a lot of us have experienced it, that money is hard to make, it's hard to come by. Being successful is hard. You have to do this, you have to work hard, this and that. Why? Well, because that guy who's now a billionaire had to work 18 hours a day. He worked really hard. So you need to go follow that. And then people keep going after money. And the more they're not looking, nobody's looking after money. Let me clear that. Nobody is looking for money. Nobody. Everybody's looking for satisfaction, fulfillment, and happiness. They believe that money is success and is going to get them there. So that's why they're after money. So let's see those successful people who are billionaires. They were in the same boat. They say, okay, if I make my first million, I'll be the happiest man alive. He's looking for fulfillment and tranquility. But when that person gets there, he can't find it. Yeah. Because it is not there. Fulfillment, happiness is not there. It's an inside job. It's not out there. When they see, wow, it's not here. So what they do, because they don't understand, they say, okay, wow, actually it was not here. 2 billion it's on 2 billion mark. When I get there, it's over there, and they go there. Oh, it's not there. When they get there, oh, it's not. It's 100 billion. Oh, then when nothing, he's the richest man alive, and they say, oh, maybe it's in the sky. You have to go to the space, and I'm going to find it there. Discovering another planet will do the job. Will make me satisfied. That's how wrong. That's how we are taught wrong and send us the wrong direction about success.
That's true.
To me, success is nothing but completing the task at hand. Mm-hmm. Whatever task you have at hand, at the moment, whatever task it is. If you're going to school, you obviously have a plan. Let's say you want to be a doctor. Success is when you're sitting in the class and listening to a lecturer, to your professor teaching. How can I learn today? Do that complete. That is success. If you're walking, if you're hiking, listening to all the tweets of the birds, the wind and the sound of nature, understanding them, believing them, being part of them, enjoying them is a success. You come home, you feel great, you feel energized because you're successful in something. Now imagine you're successful on this tiny small step that you take. The ultimate vision will always be achieved. No way that it will not, because you're actually walking to that direction. Just like a Manson and Bamya in Afghanistan told me, he built, this guy was building brick houses, and he charged almost twice as other people that I knew. And he was booked a year ahead. And I asked him, what is your secret? He said, I take care of one brick at a time. One brick at a time. When I put that brick, I want to make sure this brick has the right material, the right brick, and put in place 100%, that I have nothing to worry about the wall. That is success, is putting one brick at a time, staying focused, use your energy on that one brick at a time. It doesn't matter what it is.
I love the way you just broke that down. That itself was a beautiful way to break things down for people. Especially it was simplified, because that's literally how life is, one brick at a time. That's a good saying.
Exactly. And Evia, look at the way, unfortunately, we have been trained. We are told over and over again that life is over there. It's not here.
It starts from
tomorrow.
Young. It all starts from young. I think it all starts from, like you say, your parents.
Yeah.
So your issues that you build from young starts from whatever your parents or your role models as your parents might say to you. Like when they said, you can't do this, you can't do that, automatically it puts something in your mind for you to say, oh, I can't do that because my parents said I can't do that. And unless we have the mentality in our minds to say we can do it, we won't change that. We'll keep doubting ourselves to think that we won't. Yeah. I agree.
Exactly.
I totally agree. There's something that stood out for me, and it's, you speak about stress as well. Yeah. I know you speak about stress and anxiety and uncertainty. But one of the things I would love for you to talk about is never letting your circumstances stop your life from achieving. Could you break this down for me?
Well, Savia, stress is one of the biggest causes of failure, however you describe failure. And stress is nothing but living in the future or in the past. Stress is nothing but leaving about the stuff that you left incomplete in your life.
Yeah.
Stress starts when you cannot achieve your goal. That is what stress is all about. But if your goal, but if we have learned that our goal is in the future, how can you achieve something that is in the future right now?
That's true.
If our goal is to change the past, how is it possible for us sitting here and changing the past? And when we have these wrong goals and we cannot achieve it, stress is definitely there. It is the outcome of living anywhere but in the present moment. If you want to eliminate stress, it is not as easy. The problem is that we think, go read this book or just go take a walk or play this sports and your stress will be gone. Temporarily, yes.
Yes.
But you need a solution for long term. Because we don't know how the mind works, we have no idea what it does to us.
True.
Let's say you're worried about your future. Let's say you're worried about a future because you have people think that if you don't achieve this, if you don't achieve that, you're a failure, and you believe that, and you're worried. What am I going to do? And you're stressed over that. I want you to think about where you are all the time. Your mind, what your mind does, your mind constantly projects you, takes you to the future, and creates a failed state, a failed environment where you actually has already, in the future you've already failed. And then you want to solve that. Well, it hasn't even arrived yet. The mind creates a problem in the future, and it wants you to solve it in the future, which you can't. And then you feel it, the failure, the intensity right now. And all your energy and your thought and your focus goes towards this solving a future problem that doesn't even exist. Now, because you don't have any more energy, you cannot do anything right now. You're disabled. Your decision-making ability is compromised drastically. Why? Because we have learned that everything is in the future. You have to worry about the future, think about the future. Let's say you want to be rich. You want to have a business. Let's say you want to have a business, and you have no idea what to do, and you constantly think, oh, I don't have the money. I don't have this. If I do this, I'm going to fail. Let's say your mind does that. Now let's say now you read the 5 laws of inner change. You know how the mind works. And now you can tell, when the mind goes to the future, you can tell your mind, hey, hold on. Think of your mind as a different entity, as a different person. Now your mind takes you somewhere. Don't go there. It says, oh, hold on a second. I know you want to take me there. I know you want me to be careful, but that's okay. What can I do right now, today? What can I do that I will start a business? What can I do? Okay. When I started my first business, Savia, in Canada, when I decided to get into business, I had $2.50 in my pocket. And I decided to start a business. And everybody was laughing at me. And for good reason. They said, what? Oh, you just want to you have no money, no experience whatsoever, and you want to start a business? And if I knew how the mind worked, if I didn't know how the mind worked, I would accept their logic behind it. I would say, yeah, they're right. And my mind sometimes did come and tell me, hey, come on, be real. But because I knew how the mind worked, I said, no, that's not true. Yeah. That's not true. How am I going to start a business? I have no idea. But I know if this thing can fix my hand, it will give me ideas how to start a business. The minute you continuously tell your mind that, yes, you can do that, and you know that your mind takes you and you don't go and you bring your mind back here, give me ideas, your mind will come up with ideas. And places that you walked before, that I used to walk before, I didn't see any businesses before, but from that day on, I saw businesses everywhere. Before, I didn't see, what was this businesses before? That's how powerful the mind is once you know how to direct it towards something you want and not allow it to go to the past and future. Don't go with it. Sure. And I used to go to the same convenience store to look for a job because the guy gave me the newspaper for free to look for a job at the classified section. Now I'm going to the same store to opening the business section of the same newspaper that I did it for months and months, that I didn't see any business before. Now I see business. Now the guy that I used to buy my grocery from, now I see him as a businessman before I just saw him as a guy who's selling something. Now he's a business. Now I'm asking him question. How did you start your business? That's how powerful mind is, Savia. It will find ideas, give you ideas. And then I did realize that, wow, there are so many businesses for sale. And I went and saw these businesses, and they were really, some of them were $10,000, $20,000, but they were all losing money. That's all I could afford. And then I said, oh my God, why are they losing money? And then I realized, oh my God, they're not doing this, they're not doing this, they're doing this wrong. And my mind would come up with ideas how to improve the business. And I bought a business that was losing money. And I turned it around in 9 months. I bought a business for $10,000 that I had only, let me just make it a little more clear. Hopefully the audience will, the listeners will understand better how the mind works. When I realized that I need at least 10,000 or 15,000 capital in order to start a business, my mind started looking for any job that I could save that much money. And I did find a job. Before I was looking for any job, but this time I was only looking for the job that I could save money. And I did find that job that I could save money. I saved money in I think 8 months, I saved about $13,000. And I used that money to buy this business that was losing money. And I turned that business around and sold it in 9 months for $169,000.
See what I mean? But that's perseverance as well.
Yeah.
That's perseverance. And
yeah.
What was the most fulfilling part of doing it? I don't want to say the money is the most fulfilling part, because people always say sometimes that money, and I don't want that to be the outline of your story. Yeah. For me, I want the outline of your story to be something valuable for people to understand.
Well, Savia, I have a 19-year-old daughter who's in golf scholarship in the United States in our University of Arkansas. She's home for summer. She'll go on for her third year. She says, "Dad, I have no idea what I want in my life. What should I do? What should I take?" Unfortunately, this is a great question, because most people, especially our young generation, are lost. They have no idea what they want.
Yes, that's true.
And I tell her, well, it's okay if you don't know the first year, but second year you gotta know, So because they're really confused, because in one way we tell them, go find yourself, do whatever you want. But we haven't actually equipped them to know who they truly are.
Yeah, I hear that one.
So they are trying to figure out what they want from an incomplete state of mind. Of course, they're not going to find what they want. So now, back to your question, for me, it was more or less the same thing. I said, okay, I can do anything in life. What is it that I want to do? Because I was passionate about learning how the mind works from a very young age. Traveling to especially third world countries, living among people, learning about different culture was what exactly I wanted to do. And I said, okay, if I make money, because I backpacked for 5 years when I was a teenager. And I learned that was the best university for me, and taught me so much about life and about people. And I wanted to do that again, but this time I wanted to make money and do that I could go and actually at the same time, because there were a lot of poor people. I wanted to help them as well. At the same time, I would learn. That was the purpose behind making money. And when I came to Canada and I saw people struggling, just like everywhere else. And it didn't make any sense to me. I said, this is one of the richest countries in the world, and people are still struggling to make money to pay bills. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And I said, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to prove everybody wrong. And in less than 6 months, I was a millionaire. Less than 6 months, Savia, I was a millionaire. I bought and sold businesses. And I turned them around and I sell them. I turned them around. I sold them. I said, wow, this was easy. And for me, back then, I wanted to travel. And then I made money and then I traveled. When my money finished, I would come back and do something, and I'd go travel. Till one time when I realized that I had the waterfront house. I had the boat. I had the Sea-Doo. I had everything. I traveled the world. And then sometimes, there's something inside you says, what is it that you want in your life? And that's when I started and I went to Afghanistan, start building schools. And yeah, because Savia is for people like yourself, like me, we are the 20% of the population. Okay, the 80% of the population are okay with they love to conform, and they're good with that. They follow the rules, and they do whatever the society and the environment has created for them. They love it. They go work, and nothing wrong with that. Good for them. They're happy.
Yeah.
But 20% of us, we are the troublemakers.
You know, I was literally just about to say that. I am not very good with rules. I am being completely honest right now. If you tell me that I must do this and I must do that, and my partner will say this, I will completely go and do the opposite.
Yeah.
I am so much about fulfilling things in an authentic way, about being creative in an authentic way, about fulfilling my inner being in an authentic way. You give me a rule, I'll break it 10 times. And the reason why I am like that, it's never been about the money.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Because you don't die with the house or the money or the car.
Yeah.
It's for money. I'm going to be really honest, and I'm sure you would agree with this. Money makes your life easier.
Yeah.
But it doesn't fulfill your inner being. And there are so many people in the world that go, oh, if I'll be... Everyone always talks about money. I actually don't like talking about it. I'm surprised I am. But when people talk about money, they always turn around and say, I'll say, what do you want to do? Or what would you like to have, as a question to somebody? Everyone always... 90% of people turn around and say money. I'd like to have money. I'd like to be a millionaire. But then I'll say, what would you do? Would you still work if you had money? Are you crazy? But see, a wise person who told me, and I don't know if you'll agree with this. A wise person told me that one of the best jobs to do, even if you are a millionaire, is to sit and be the receptionist. And I was really young when they said this, and it was a very valuable story to me anyways. And I said, why do you want to be the receptionist? And I said, because that receptionist is the person who represents your company, who knows absolutely everybody who comes in and out, and takes the most abuse. And if you can take abuse from people and still remain calm, collected, and know who you are as an individual, you will go far in life if you decide to have your own company, because it's still the same. It's just that you have a different title. And the only thing is when you get a different title and more money, is that for some sad reason, people respect you more when you have money and title, rather than respecting you even if you have nothing but the wisdom in your mind.
Exactly. And then another reason is, Savia, because this 20%, just like you, the reason I said you're 20%, because what you're doing is indication that you're the 20%, because we believe that making a living is easy. It's the simplest thing. Why are you worried about making a living? You can do it anytime. Just go get a job or something. We want to do more. We want to change something. We don't settle for a normal or mediocre life. Because we believe we can. And Savia, one of the tragedy is that this 20% have no support whatsoever.
That's true.
Not just we have no support and understanding from the rest. We are discouraged, even forced, pulled back, trying to hold us down where they are. And we have to fight everybody
every day,
trying every single day, and trying to get out there and do what we love to do. And that's why you and I go through so much struggle in life. So much, we try, we work hard, because we have no support whatsoever. And we're not born in a family to be this 20% that will be normal for us. We're not. Most of us are born and this 80% family society. And for us to break free is really, really hard, really, really difficult. We have to fail 1,000 times in order to go succeed.
Once.
Exactly. But for some people who are born in this environment, it is great for them. It's a given. But for us, people like you and me, we are, and we continuously have to work and try and find our way out of the crowd.
Yeah, that is
They're
true.
not going to let us.
That is true. What do you believe is your most valuable lesson that you have learned in life?
That you are everything. The minute I realize that it is me, if I'm angry, it is me. If I'm happy, if it is me. If I fail, it is me. If I succeed, it is me. And that gives you control, Savia. Then you are it. You are it. You know, you can't blame anybody else. Oh, you made me angry. No, it doesn't exist.
That is totally true.
Just like you said about the receptionist, right? And I tell people, somebody complain about their wife, about kids or something. They come and ask for help because I do life coaching as well. So and I tell them, wow, it means great. You have a teacher. Your wife is a teacher, constantly poking you, say, hey, you're not ready, buddy. You're not there yet. Don't claim it yet. Just like the receptionist, you said, yes. The more, a quote I heard about, it was a beautiful quote. It said, the bad people are the good people's responsibility.
Yeah, that is, you know what, that's spot on.
Yeah. So don't go yelling and says, oh, you're not a good person. No, that's your responsibility to understand that person, however or whoever that person is.
And to educate them.
They will educate themselves when you try to understand and be yourself. Once they're around you and you be yourself, it is inevitable that they will change.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree with that. I only have 2 more for you. It's gone so quickly. It just felt like a nice, easy conversation. It has gone so quickly. So my second to last one for you is, when was the last time you yourself felt totally at peace with yourself?
Well, I love nature.
Same.
I just love nature. And I go hiking in the mountains. I stay in the mountains for days and nights, and I go canoeing for days and nights. And I am most at peace when I'm with nature.
Yeah.
And I try to be at peace when I'm with people. I have to really work at it.
I was just going to say, that can be really challenging.
Yeah. It is. In order for you to have a peace of mind, you need to have an environment for that.
True.
Okay, you have to be really, really mentally strong in order to have peace, an environment where peace doesn't exist. Nature creates that environment immediately for you. You become part of it. Yeah. As long as you're open to listen to the nature, to be part of nature. Don't have your earphones listening to music while you're in hiking and this beautiful, amazing natural hike. Be part of it. Feel the wind. Listen to the music all the leaves are playing. You would be amazed how much nature teaches you.
That's true.
And when you look at the tree, just look at the tree. You learn a lot from this. You just look at the trees. The trees, when the wind blows, it just sways with the wind, no matter how hard the wind is. It doesn't resist, just like human beings do. When the problem comes, we resist. Why this problem is here? I don't want this. Okay. Oh, imagine the tree resist the wind. It will have no branches. They all will be broken.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at the animals. Look at the birds. They always live at the present. They have no idea what tomorrow is, the day after tomorrow is. They have no clue. They're happy. They're really, really happy. Part of the nature. The nature always teaches you. Always teaches you. If you don't have to go to really, you don't have to go far. Just go to a local, go to a city park. You can even observe people.
Yeah.
And appreciate everything there. If a swan is swimming there, appreciate that. You can find peace everywhere you go, but you have to really know how the mind works in order to create peace.
I love that, which is actually a nice way to end the podcast, but by me saying, I would love for everybody to know where they can find your book. If anybody would like to get in touch with you or contact with you to speak about your organization or what you do as a humanitarian and author, where can they find you?
Well, we have a website, OWDA, OWDA.ca, and they can find the book, 5 Laws of Inner Change, on Amazon. So it's been on Amazon for, I think, a few months now.
Perfect. Guys, you hear that? Go and read a book. Go and support. Please, this is what the podcast is all about. And this is where I say thank you so much for taking your time to come on the Ask People podcast. Thank you so much for being patient, kind, being who you are, and being yourself, which is one of the most important things that you can be. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. So happy. I'm so glad that we talked, and I really, really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the Ask People podcast. And please remember, you can subscribe and leave us a review on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and any other platform that you prefer listening to. Please also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can also donate to the Ask People podcast by simply going to the Savia Rocks website or just typing in paypal.me/Us People podcast. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Stay happy, stay positive, and as always, please continue to be kind to one another.
And so do I. Really appreciate you. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm so glad that I talked to you, and hopefully we'll cross paths sometimes again.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Let me know if you need. Sometimes if your guest doesn't show up or something, just let me know. We can talk. There is a lot to talk about.
Soaring through this journey, leaving fear far behind. Our hearts are full of courage. You can win if you try. Redirect the yes to you. You'll see the power in yes. If you